Good day, everyone. In the news now is an article that reverts back to three articles I've done now on the situation within the ruling party and where they are having financial difficulty. I've also done articles in the past where it was clear that the official opposition party was also battling with finances, and this came after the Concord ruling that parties have to reveal their funders when they actually receive funds above a certain amount, and that it must be revealed for public scrutiny. And unlike with the CR17 campaign, uh, the public themselves will have access to the funds that parties receive. Now, with the CR17 campaign, it was a campaign within the African National Congress, and within that campaign, the CR17 campaign does not fall under the Electoral Act or the new bill that was signed by President Cyril Ramaphosa. So he would come off scot-free from any implications with regards to that, and this is why we have a problem with the party system specifically. And the headline for this article, and you can find the description in the description below this video, you'll find the link to the article, says late salary payments not sorted, but ANC asks its staff to be flexible. So late payments are not sorted out, and the ruling party is asking the staff to be flexible with regards to what is happening at the moment and them not getting paid. Now, these aren't politicians, these are normal office staff that work for the party in a full-time capacity, and they are normal employees. It's the same as in government, where you have the normal government administration, where you have employees that are permanently employed within governance. These are the people that should give you all your service delivery. And yes, the three sub-headlines for this article tell a story. The ANC has called on its staffers to show some flexibility despite the continuous pattern of late salary payments. Like I said, this is a repeating thing now, which tells you that the ruling party is starting to suffer with funds. It says staff members play a critical role in providing support to branches and regions. The SRC rejected reports that the financial problems stem from the Political Party Funding Act. So they're saying that it's got nothing to do with the fact that this act that has been signed into law forces parties to actually make known the donors above a certain amount paid. And it's interesting that they would make that statement. It's very telling, which means they are trying to tell you that there's other things happening, whether true or not. And this is a very interesting narrative, and that is why this article caught my interest. The fact that they say it's got nothing to do with this act, when that is the most obvious thing, that especially in the case of the DA, where they've made known that this act has actually stopped large donors from donating because they wanted to be anonymous, they don't want to be known. And because then you can see how the party system can have large donors pull the purse strings and create policy. And something that would make the party system a complete farce, which it is. The ANC pleaded with disgruntled staff members to be more accommodating during their go slow in order to allow essential and election staff to assist with the processes of candidate selection. And I have it on good sources that the political party meetings, where they are deciding which candidates are going to stand in local government elections, that it's normally quite a brutal affair, and there's no love in these meetings. My company has been involved in past meetings like that, where we provided sound, and I can tell you that people smash chairs on each other's heads to the point where the police has to get involved, and even firearms get involved. And this is within all three of the main or the largest parties within the country. In a letter sent by Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte, the party said it regretted that the late salary payments issue had not been concluded. Now, when you have an issue, you need to resolve it. There needs to be a resolution to that issue, and I'm not sure what the solution is going to be. If it's not this party funding bill, then what is it? And it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out in future, because there's currently a go slow. She added that ANC staff at all levels played a critical role in providing support to branches and regions, as well as to the regional and provincial list and vetting committees. As you are aware, and I'm quoting Duarte now, the ANC as a political party contests elections as part of its core mandate. A critical aspect of elections is the candidate selection process, so that the ANC can register its candidates for local government elections. And yeah, I will say that I found it very strange that when the IEC has gone to court to try and postpone the elections, based on the recommendations from a process that was followed by a justice, and the outcome of that process saying that they recommend that the elections be postponed till February, then for them to actually gazette a date for the elections that it's going ahead in October, it's like the wires are crossed. It's like something's not making sense at all. And the worst part is that the voters' roll was actually closed, which means that the very few people that did actually make the effort to register to vote, that the others that haven't don't stand a chance. The voters' roll is closed. So either this is to get the court action to succeed, to prove that the elections won't be free and fair, or it is to play a different narrative. And it's going to be interesting to see in future what the different political parties say and how they use this political football to their own gain. And I keep on quoting Duarte, the candidate registration deadlines are set by the IEC and are not within our control. She's absolutely right. The IEC run the elections. They set a date for the candidate selection process. And the fact that the ANC is currently still scrambling to do that is actually quite surprising, because many of the smaller political parties that are new on the landscape are far more advanced with their processes than the ruling party of the country. Something's not right. The IEC deadline for registration of candidates is set for no later than the 23rd of August. It's the 17th today. That's in 6 days' time. So this week is a make or break week to select, vet and register all local government candidates. And then they have to put candidates forward in all the wards across the country. This is a mammoth task. I actually can't see how they're going to get this done within 6 days if they have a go slow on the ground. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually get the candidates registered. If they don't, they will not be eligible to stand in the local government elections, and the African National Congress actually won't have candidates. And, you know, I won't be surprised that there's a crisis that erupts around there, and we'll have to watch the space. There are so many different scenarios that can play out at this stage. But imagine that the African National Congress, because of a go slow, because of a funding problem with their staff, that they cannot register their candidates across the country, which means that they will have none in the local government elections, which means that all the wards that are run by ANC candidates now will go to another party. Think about that. The party is asking its staffers to show flexibility, which would include working until late and over the weekend. So there's a deadline, very little time, and now they have to, in thousands of wards across the country, literally put candidates forward. This hasn't been done yet. Then do all the paperwork and get it into the IEC on time. I feel sorry for the IEC. It's going to be a mammoth task. Then it says the essential candidate selection and registration process includes. So this is all that needs to be done. And I know many people would have left the video by now, not interested. Now, this is for the bitter einders, the people that actually want the real information, because this is the crux of this video, and this is what you need to understand. What the ANC needs to pull off in the next 6 days in every ward across the country, because they will have representatives normally in every ward, everywhere in the country. Even if the opposition party is in the majority, like in the Western Cape, there will be an ANC councillor standing there. So this is what they have to pull off in the next 6 days. Support by any staff to branches to convene candidate BGMs and community meetings. So they want to include the community in decision making and then have these meetings where they make decisions. Support by regional staff to the regional interview and vetting panels in terms of meetings and administration of the list to be submitted from their regions. Now, this already takes time. So you have to convene all of these meetings. The next, so there's 6 items here. An item per day, I can't see it happening. Support by the provincial list administrator and provincial support staff to the provincial list committees in terms of meetings, objections, administration, and follow-up on lists from their province. Now, in the past, the fights for councillor positions within the African National Congress would turn to violence, often death. People's houses get burnt down. There's a lot that actually can still go wrong, especially when it comes to objections or the community not being happy with who is selected. This can certainly be a trigger for something unprecedented. Support by provincial staff to PECs to convene their extended PECs that must finalize the list before submission. Overall support and administration to correct any of the ANC's candidate details to ensure that correct and complete information is submitted to the headquarters for registration by the latest 23rd of August 2021. And then work by essential headquarters HQ staff to ensure complete, correct and timely registration of candidates, including support for the extended NEC, National List Conference, the Electoral Committee and the SGO. People, I cannot see how this can happen within the African National Congress by next week, the 23rd. Last month, the ANC Staff Representative Committee, SRC, rejected parts of reports from ANC officials who indicated that the financial problems incurred by the party stemmed from the Political Party Funding Act. And I find that hard to believe. The SRC opted to embark on a go slow until their demands had been met by the party. The SRC reaffirmed its demands that contributions to the Provident Fund and UIF should be paid up before 31st of July 2021 as stated in the memorandum of 15th of June 2021. The committee said it would only communicate a way forward after the deadline set and agreed upon by all parties. But ANC officials reassured the staffers that there was a plan. So they only have a plan, which they believed should be effective from the 31st of August 2021. So they're asking these staff to just carry on working. We have a plan that should be effective by the end of the month. What would you do in that situation? Considering the situation the country is in at the moment. On Tuesday, the ANC's General Manager, Febe Potgieter, told News24 that despite the problems, they were hoping staffers would adhere to the flexibility call to ensure that the selection candidate process ran smoothly and successfully. And I quote, local elections have been promulgated for 27th of October 2021, and in accordance with the IEC timetable, all parties are due to register the candidates by the 23rd of August, 6 days' time. We acknowledge that our staff have legitimate grievances, hence the go slow, but we have appealed for flexibility given this urgent deadline. Our staff play a critical role in ANC work and campaigns, but we will complete the candidate registration as required by the 23rd of August, said Potgieter. Well, that is everything works like clockwork every single day. She must have some crystal ball. Wow. The SRC leader, Mdala Vusi, told News24 the staffers had convened a meeting on Tuesday to reflect on the matter and would have a way forward after the meeting. It would be interesting to see what comes out of that meeting today. I really want to thank you, those of you that have stayed to the end of this video, to actually get the real extent of what is happening now. And it's going to be interesting to see if the IEC shows any leniency and if there will be any court applications if they don't get the registrations done in time and the political fallout of that. But this is potentially a massive event that the ANC will not be able to get their local government election staff to the IEC with all the registration requirements and all the processes that are supposed to be followed within the ANC as per their constitution by the 23rd of August. If it happens, some miracle went down, and I can't see it happening right now unless they are the best run organization in the country. Thank you very much for watching. Till the next video.